Okay, welcome back to another episode, Third and 23. I'm your host, Alex. Just a quick recap video to talk about my picks over this past, over week 13 of the NFL season. How I did. Y'all remember I went into this week 4-0 from the previous week and had ourselves a 3-1 week against the spread. Against the spread picks. Had a real shot at 4-0 yet again, but we just missed out. But let's just get into it real quick. Kind of talk about what happened. So here on my high stakes I only made one high stake play this week. Only one play that I put, uh, you know, uh, a large percentage of my bank on this. If you guys know about percentages, betting 1 to 5% of your bankroll. So this would be considered a 5% bankroll play if you want to think of it in those terms. I know I don't typically use the sports betting lingo because I kind of have my own method, but if you want to think of it in those terms, that's what this a high stakes play is. But anyway, so I only had one, Detroit at the Saints. I was pretty confident that Detroit would win this game and cover the 4. I actually thought Detroit would have won by double digits, and we started off pretty hot. They were 21-0 in the first quarter. In fact, I think it was 21-0 in the first half of the first quarter. So, you're sitting pretty. You're thinking this is an easy call. If you looked out there in the ether, this was pretty much, I think this was the number one bet for the NFL weekend was Detroit covering the spread. So I wasn't the only one who thought this. And man, Vegas almost had us on this one, huh? The Saints came storming back out of nowhere practically to cut it to 24-21. Lions went on a good drive to answer their last touchdown drive, got down into the red zone, stalled, and thank goodness Dan Campbell finally decides to not go for it on fourth down. He kicks the field goal, 27-21. Got to stop, 33-21. Got to stop and score to make it 33-21. So now you're sitting pretty because even if they score a touchdown, you're still covering the 4 because 33-28, right? So, and that's what happened. The Saints went downfield. Actually, the Lions had a chance at a pick six bowling right through the defender's hands. He could have housed that into Olave's hands. He got down inside the 5, and the Saints eventually scored a touchdown and cut it to 33-28. But that was pretty much all she wrote for the Saints in this game. So we cover this, and we hit on our high stakes play of the week. Low stakes plays, I had Atlanta covering the 2 with the Jets. I told you guys, if you lose this, it's going to be 17-16, 14-13. That's what I said on video this past weekend. And I told you guys, I don't think the Jets can even score that many points. Scored 8, 0 touchdowns too, by the way. So it went as expected. Desmond Ridder struggled, sure. The only thing that surprised me this game is that the Falcons weren't really able to run the ball with success because you can run the ball against the Jets. But this was a game that the Jets' offense was just anemic, couldn't get anything going. I told you guys the Falcons' pass defense is pretty underrated. I knew that the Jets' passing game wasn't really going to get off against them. And outside of a flea flicker, they really didn't do anything. And that's what led to the win, 13-8 Falcons. So we covered there. Niners, Eagles. I'll be honest. I expected this to be a closer game, but I was confident that the Niners would win this game. I actually was leaning towards making this a high stakes play, but I didn't. I kept it low money just in case that the luck in certain situations that the Eagles have seen continued. So I took the Niners. I got them at 2.5. 49ers were down 7-0 in this game, and then they just went to work. Final on this one was 42-19. The Niners scored on. Let me just take a look real quick because the Niners scored on 6 straight touchdown drives. 6 straight touchdown drives to really just pull away and shut the door on the Eagles in this one. I told you guys that I thought both run defenses were overrated if you look at their yards per game average. The Niners, though, I'll give them props. They buckled down, held the Eagles to 46 yards rushing. But I'll say the Eagles were down early, and they had to pass the rest of the way. Jalen Hurts had 45 pass attempts in this. But you know, I told you guys that the Niners would also be able to run the ball. And they did. They ran for 146, ran well. And I told you guys Brock Purdy would barbecue. He did. 314, 4 touchdowns. That Eagles secondary, again, guys look at the record, so they don't know it. They gloss over the team. They automatically think every part of the team is elite and all this and that. And that Eagles secondary has been cooked all season long. Got cooked again. So 42-19, so we covered there. So that was our 3 that we got right against the spread this week. And our 1 with, and I told you guys, you know, you guys are going to think I'm crazy taking the Patriots with the 5.5. I'll say this. I didn't anticipate Ramondre Stevenson getting hurt. And I thought the Patriots would have a good game running the ball. I thought they'd be able to control the clock and the tempo with the ground game. Ramondre would have been a big part of that. And he started out, man, he had 40 yards. We had 40 yards rushing in the first quarter, 39 in the first quarter. Yeah, 39 in the first quarter, and then he went down. He was on pace for a big game. I think that could have led to some potential scoring drives. But I mean, I don't even want to blame Ramondre for me whiffing this. I got to blame myself for taking him. But the reality is the Patriots had opportunity to not only cover the spread, but even win the game. You're down 6-0 in the fourth quarter. You get in the field goal range, and you go for it on 4th down. Now I understand the conditions, what they were, so maybe he doesn't make the kick. But this is what kills me with coaches in college and in the NFL. You see it a lot in college, though. We saw in the NFL with Bill Belichick yesterday. If you have a bad quarterback, you can't go for it on 4th down unless they are situations where you have no choice. You know, the clock's running down. This is the last drive of the game. Stuff like that. You can't go for it on 4th down with a bad quarterback. You go for it on 4th down with a bad quarterback, he's going to take a sack because he's never going to get off his first read. And he's just going to sit there and eat a sack. We see it all the time. You see it with young quarterbacks. You see it with bad quarterbacks. You see it in college with freshman quarterbacks. You see it in college with bad quarterbacks. You see it in the NFL with rookie quarterbacks. You see it in the NFL with bad quarterbacks. Bailey Zappi is a bad quarterback. 4th down, you're in field goal range. You decide to go for it. It was like, what is it, like 4th and 5? Let me look at this real quick. It was like 4th and 5, something like that. Yeah, it was 4th and 5 with 7 minutes left in the game. You're in field goal range. He just got sacked the play before. What does he do? He locks on his first read. It's not there. I guess you can't see from the angle. It's not there. Boom, takes a sack. We kick the field goal there. It's 6-3. We're covering if you take the 5.5. So I'm a little bitter about that, about him not going for it. But it's 6-3. They got down there on the next drive. They're back down there in field goal range again. So now you kick the field goal and you make it 6-6. So in real football, if you're a Pats fan, you could take the overtime in this terrible football game. That's because that's what it was. You take it to overtime. Instead, now you have to go for it on 4th down. Incomplete pass. Again,
whoa, Floyd.
Bad quarterback.
Sorry
about that. Bad quarterback. He's going to fail in that situation, and that's what happened. So, I know it sounds like I'm making excuses for whiffing on my 1 whiff, but lost on the half point. That's how it goes sometimes. So, that wraps up my week. If you were wondering if I was going to do this Jags-Bengals game, I am not going to do this Jags-Bengals game. Last I saw, it was Bengals by 10. I just don't like this game. I know it's Jake Browning again, right? And I don't believe in Jake Browning whatsoever. But T. Higgins is going to be back. That's another weapon for him. Still got Chase. Got a lot of skill position talent there. I think the spread was 10 last I looked. That's just too high for me. I'm not messing with this game. So, but anyway, if you like the content, please like, follow, subscribe. If you like that 7-1 over the last 2 weeks and you're getting paid off it, please like that as well, right? And then you'll see my YouTube handle here in a few seconds. And tune in this coming weekend as I talk. I might do the Thursday game, so I might have something for that. But if not, tune in this coming weekend for the next week of the NFL season. Take care.